Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we are taking on the ultimate rapid-fire challenge. We're going to break down the 10 most prominent, absolutely culture-defining anime genres, and we've got to do it fast. I mean, the Japanese animation industry has just exploded, right? It's literally a $25 billion global phenomenon with a massive diversity of storytelling. But let's be real. With hundreds of new shows dropping every single year, the terminology can get incredibly confusing.
So, think you know your Shonen from your Shojo, or your isekai from your mecha? Well, it's time to test your knowledge. Here's the deal. For each of the top 10 genres, I'm going to give you exactly one sentence to define it, 2 iconic examples to immediately add to your watch list, and 1 really compelling reason why you'll absolutely love it. We are putting 60 seconds on the clock for each genre. Let's start that timer right now.
Okay, let's dive right into this with the absolute juggernaut of the anime world, Shonen. So Shonen is a genre primarily targeting young teen boys that packs its episodes with high-octane action, thrilling adventure, and these epic coming-of-age themes. It's hands down the most popular demographic, historically responsible for pulling massive global audiences into the medium, with these long-running sagas that are all about teamwork, intense training arcs, and of course, those epic battle tournaments.
To really understand this genre, you don't need to look any further than these 2 iconic examples. Naruto, which follows a young ninja's desperate quest for recognition, and One Piece, the legendary pirate adventure that has grossed, get this, over $21 billion in revenue. So why should you dedicate your time to it? Well, the single biggest reason to love Shonen is that it relentlessly inspires you to overcome massive obstacles, protect your friends, and just become the absolute best version of yourself, no matter how insurmountable the odds seem. All right, moving from the battlefield straight to matters of the heart, we've got Shojo. Shojo is an anime genre targeted mainly at young teen girls that focuses heavily on intricate relationships, the magic of friendship, and deeply emotional character development. You see, while Shonen might lean on physical combat to resolve conflicts, Shojo totally thrives on interpersonal drama, romance, and navigating the messy complexities of growing up, all while offering a super vibrant, colorful, and often magical aesthetic. And this brilliantly illustrates the incredible breadth of the genre, with shows like Fruits Basket, which is this deeply touching story about a lonely girl and a cursed family, or Sailor Moon, the absolute quintessential series that basically pioneered the magical girl superhero. You'll instantly fall for this genre because of its stunning, expressive visuals paired with these deeply emotional, empowering narratives that finally give genuine, focused screen time to the female experience and personal growth.
But you know, what happens when that Shonen audience actually grows up? Well, you get Seinen. Seinen is a genre targeting young adult men that tackles complex, mature themes, deep psychology, and really intense, heavily layered narratives without any content restrictions. This is where anime steps entirely out of the high school setting and plunges straight into the brutal realities of the adult world, dealing with moral ambiguity, heavy philosophy, and, yeah, sometimes some pretty intense violence and gore.
The titans of this space are just undeniable. You've got the grim dark fantasy of Berserk, which intensely explores trauma and ambition. And then there's the historical Viking drama of Vinland Saga, which focuses on revenge and ultimately pacifism. This is literally the perfect watch if you crave nuanced, layered storytelling that actually respects your intelligence and actively challenges you with darker, thought-provoking philosophical themes.
And just as Seinen ages up that shonen demographic, we have the mature counterpart to shoujo, which is Josei. Josei is a genre targeted at young adult women that explores realistic adult relationships, career ambitions, and the nuanced, everyday complexities of women's intimate lives. This is really where the fantastical elements kind of fade away, and they're replaced by a highly grounded, deeply relatable look at the actual triumphs and struggles of adulthood. 2 of the most celebrated Josei works out there are Nana, a total masterful story about 2 women sharing the exact same name but leading vastly different lives in Tokyo, and Paradise Kiss, a really deep dive into the pressures of the fashion industry and personal identity. What makes this genre an absolute must-watch is its beautifully grounded, highly realistic portrayal of life's complex drama. It strips away the whole fairy tale vibe to show love and life exactly as it truly is. Okay, let's shift gears from demographics to thematic subgenres and see how this builds, starting with a sci-fi legend, mecha. Mecha is a cornerstone sci-fi genre featuring giant, pilotable robots battling it out, using these massive machines basically as vehicles to explore really heavy themes of technology, war, and politics. I mean, dating all the way back to the 1960s, this genre completely reshaped Japanese pop culture.
transforming what were simple action cartoons into these sprawling, incredible space operas.
You absolutely cannot talk about mecha without mentioning the heavyweights. Mobile Suit Gundam basically cemented the real robot genre in the 70s, making mechs utilitarian tools of war. And then there's Neon Genesis Evangelion, a 90s masterpiece that used giant robots as a backdrop for a seriously harrowing dive into depression and existentialism. The absolute magic of this genre is getting that mind-bending blend of cerebral, highbrow political storytelling paired directly with epic city-destroying robot combat.
Next up, we jump into one of the most explosive trends of the last decade, isekai. Isekai, which literally translates to another world, is a genre where an ordinary character is transported, reincarnated, or trapped in an alternative, heavily fantastical universe. Usually, the protagonist is plucked right out of their super mundane modern life and just thrown into a sprawling fantasy landscape, which forces them to reorient to a strange new status quo, often dealing with actual video game-like mechanics.
Two massive modern examples really dominate the conversation here. You have Sword Art Online, which totally popularized the trapped-in-a-video-game survival trope, and then there's That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, which takes a much lighter approach, following a guy reborn as a lowly slime monster who somehow builds a massive fantasy nation. Honestly, nothing beats isekai for pure escapist fantasy. It allows you to experience the absolute thrill of getting a completely fresh start in a magical world.
Taking a pretty sharp turn away from, saving the world, we land on Slice of Life. Slice of Life is a genre completely dedicated to exploring the everyday, mundane happenings of ordinary people as they navigate school, work, hobbies, and low-stakes relationships. There are absolutely no world-ending villains here. The conflict is usually as simple as studying for a test, running a small cafe, or just going on a camping trip with your friends.
Two perfect examples you definitely need to check out are Nichijou, which takes the mundane setting of a high school and injects it with absolutely surreal, over-the-top absurd comedy, and Barakamon, a really heartwarming story about an arrogant calligrapher finding himself while living on this remote rural island. So, why should you watch it? Because it is the ultimate comforting, humorous, and healing watch. It's like an animated warm hug that is just perfect to kick back with after a really long, exhausting day.
Now, let's inject some adrenaline back into the mix with the sports genre. Sports anime is a genre that follows a character or a team as they intensely train, compete, and aim to be the absolute best in their chosen athletic field. Often acting like a specialized subgenre of shonen, these shows take the rules of a real-world sport and just dial the drama, the dynamic camera angles, and those intense internal monologues all the way up to 11.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the wild contrast in approach. Haikyuu is a universally beloved volleyball anime that absolutely thrives on wholesome teamwork and uplifting character growth. But conversely, Blue Lock takes soccer and turns it into this cutthroat, ego-driven battle royale where literally only the most selfish striker survives. The raw emotion and inspiring passion here will have you cheering at your screen for sure, even if you don't actually play a single sport in real life.
As we near the end of our list, we have the universally appealing romance genre. Romance in anime is a diverse genre, exploring broad interpretations of love, ranging from sweet high school relationships to sweeping historical dramas or intense gothic emotional dynamics. This genre frequently crosses over with slice of life or shoujo, focusing entirely on that irresistible magnetic pull between characters and the often agonizing, slow-burn journey toward an actual confession.
Two absolute must-watches are Makoto Shinkai's cinematic masterpiece, Your Name, which is a visually breathtaking story of two teenagers swapping bodies across space and time, and Toradora, basically the gold standard for the high school romantic comedy featuring an iconic enemies-to-lovers dynamic. The reason this genre hooks you is simple. You get incredible, heart-fluttering moments, deep emotional intimacy, and the insanely satisfying payoff of seeing true connection blossom on screen.
Our 10th and final genre on the clock takes us straight into the shadows with horror. Horror anime is a genre that tackles incredibly dark themes centered around a core mystery, terrifying monsters, and intense, unrelenting psychological tension. While live action relies heavily on jump scares, anime uses its totally limitless visual medium to create deeply unsettling atmospheres, horrific body horror, and this twisting psychological dread that just gets right under your skin.
The genre is packed with masterpieces. Another is a chilling, super atmospheric high school murder mystery centered around a cursed classroom. Then there is The Promised Neverland, a brilliant, high-stakes thriller where these orphans discover the horrifying truth about their idyllic home. It perfectly satisfies that craving for suspenseful, uniquely crafted, mystery-driven stories that will keep you constantly, and I mean constantly, on the edge of your seat.
And time! Wow, we made it through all 10. So the crucial point here is that whether you're looking for the sprawling battles of a shonen, the intimate realism of Josei, or the pure escapism of an isekai, this medium truly has an incredibly detailed and specific niche waiting just for you. We've explored the demographics, the themes, and the iconic shows that literally built a $25 billion global industry. Now I'm turning the question over to you. After beating the clock on all 10, what is your absolute favorite anime genre? And hey, did we miss a cool niche subgenre that deserves its own 60 seconds? Let us know and dive into your next great watch.